Hello YouTube and welcome back to Fire Gaming Project. So in today's short video, I'm going to do a quick review of Jean. Now, as you may know from watching my videos, etc., and even my recent crowning video, Jean is actually my first free 5-star character. I got her on the Noel banner when I first started this game 1 year ago. So I'm very proud of her. And yeah, she's been, and also I talked about my mistakes in like playing this game. I've basically used her as part of my original team for all of my early late game portion through to the AR-50s. I do love this character, but of course I can see people saying that she's kind of boring. But overall though, she's a good character and she's a really well balanced character. Her storyline is very cute, especially early on, where she gets sick, and I'm sure most people have done it already. So this is not really a spoiler, but you know how she works a lot and she's like in charge of everything and basically running Mondstadt, and then all the other characters like Kaya and Lisa, et cetera, try to help her out and all that stuff. So I think that was really nice, and it's a good way to set the tone for the game, that it's very collaborative and full of lovable characters. Anyway, so for me, she's a very balanced workaholic type, and I actually appreciate that and respect that. Versus like a very delegating type of a leader. Anyway, let's get into it. But before we do, make sure you guys are subscribed, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and make sure you guys leave some questions and some comments as well. So let's see. So she's 90 out of 90, and her HP and her attack are pretty okay. They could be better. So I got her crit rate up because I do use her as a DPS, and she's on the field a lot. If you guys seen my Abyss attempts and such, she to this day is still in one of those each side, one of my Abyss teams usually. So I make sure that she has enough crit rate, a minimum at least 50, but as high as possible is preferred. This could be higher, I know, to be having it more stable. Crit damage 153. It's not the highest, but it could be higher. But definitely, as long as you guys are hitting the 1 to 2 ratio, which I'm a little off balance here, but it should be fine. The healing bonus is, I wouldn't worry about that. That's not specific for her. I think it's because I have Sayu on this team, so I won't focus on that. She does not really have major energy recharge issues, but definitely more energy just means that she can ult more often. The cooldown reduction, I wouldn't focus on that either. I think that's part of the elemental resonance. And then damage is 61.6%, and then physical is 25. You were wondering where did that come from? She's actually quite versatile. She can be an animal-focused character or a physical, but I prefer her as a hybrid build because her swirling as an animal is not as powerful or useful as some of the other animal characters such as Venti and Sucrose and Kazuha. So that's why I wouldn't need to put a 4-piece Viridescent Vendor on her. And I'll talk about that when I get to the artifact section. For weapons, I gave her my Primordial Jade Cutter. Many of you guys knew that I had this already. I had this way, way, way back from pulling on the original Xiao banner, weapon banner. I did not get his spear on that banner, but I did get this, and I was super pleased because I was still using Jean at that time, and I love using her, of course. Now, if you didn't have that, you can give her the Mist Splitter, and that's okay too. Um, she doesn't have major energy recharge issues, so I wouldn't even recommend any energy recharge weapons, including the Skyward Blade. But I can see you giving it to her if you use her more like a healer or support 5-star versus an actual DPS, right? I can see that. Aquila Favonia was something that I had on her before, but because I got the Jade Cutter and then I got the Aquila afterward, I was able to, have her and Kaching both have a 5-star weapon. So, I mean, I can see people using Aquila on her as on Jean as well, and because it would be complementing her physical build potential as well. This one is just for her skill. Her skill is actually quite useful. I'll talk about that when we get there, but I wouldn't say that she needs energy recharge. I also had one point given her the Black Sword in the earlier refines, and this is okay too with the crit rate, and this is a Battle Pass weapon, so keep that in mind as well. But for a non-Battle Pass weapon option, so a more free-to-play option, then the Black Cliff would be recommended in lieu of that, and that's okay too, and it is currently in the Paimon shop, which I've talked heavily about. At one point in the very early game, I didn't have very many weapons, so I did give her the flute as well, which later on I gave to Chi Chi. So this is not like a preferred weapon, but it has its uses, let's say, in early game. Again, she doesn't need energy recharge, so I would skip the sacrificial, but if you had this on her, that's fine, because then she can proc, her E's twice, which is okay too. And then Prototype Rancor, again, would be a more early game option, but it is craftable, so it's very free to play friendly, and it is a physical damage substat, which is also useful for her if you were to build her a physical damage, if you were to do a physical damage build for her. Um, So the Favonius, again, is a very default universal weapon. Of course, if you want to build her as a support and get more energy for her and also for the team, then that would be great, especially if she can crit, then she can get extra energy for critting on her passive. And then the Aminoma, again, is similarly a good craftable weapon for her. And again, the passive would be also very useful in terms of getting energy back. So for the lines where it would be a skip for this, and then that's pretty much it for those weapons. So like I just said, I did a half-half for her, a hybrid. I did a two-piece Viridescent Venerer, and then a two-piece Bloodstained Chivalry, so that she would then have some physical damage as well, because I do use her normal attack, so I'm just going to quickly go over it. Yeah, so I focused on crit damage because her sword has crit rate on it, right? And then Animo, and then this is attack, of course. Okay. Constellation-wise, now you're probably wondering what the heck, right? No, I didn't pull for her specifically to get this, obviously, on the standard banner, but eventually, when you pull enough on the standard banner through just regularly playing, and also when you pull on other character banners and you lose the 50/50, you'll get these. So I'm actually very happy that I have these because at least it's on a character that I like and enjoy using, so that's fine, right? I mean, okay. I like Chi-Chi, for example, but I wouldn't care to like keep getting her constellations. And I also like Mona too, but I also don't care to keep getting her constellations too. But for Jean, I would love to, and Diluc, for example, and Kaching, sure, give me more of them, right? Because if you're gonna lose the 50/50, you might as well get them on characters that you actually like more or use more. Anyway, so from a C1 perspective, she can just increase the damage dealt and the pulling speed of her E, which is okay. It's like an indirect thing, which is okay. It still is an energy increased damage, so that's still good. C2 is basically she can pick up more orbs and will have their movement speed and attack speed increase, which is a nice buff overall for most characters. This is just +3 levels for her alt. This one is when enemies when they're inside of her ult, basically, their animal resistance is shredded by 40%, which is actually quite huge if you think about that. Yeah, and then this is +3 levels for her skill, and then the last one, which I don't have yet, is the incoming damage is decreased by 35% when you're within her ult field, basically. And when you leave it, this effect will still last another three attacks or 10 seconds, which is okay. So overall, they're very like they're not like must-haves, but then definitely it's good to have. Let's just put it that way. It just makes her stronger, as you can see. Oops, sorry. Let me go back. So like if you wanted to actually increase her damage, then C1 would be the one. Of course, C3 and C5 will too, but C4 would, because it shreds the animal for other characters, other opponents. So that in a way is technically a damage increase, right? I wouldn't say you should pull for her specifically on the standard banner, but if you were lucky and got her, and also lucky and got some of her constellations from losing the 50/50 or going on to the standard banner, then it's fine. I would say like any of her constellations are good. I would say C2 is kind of a meh kind of one, like you don't really need it. C6 definitely is just a nice to have for sure, because it's still more like you are basically more protected. Okay, talent-wise, so I did crown her, and I talked about that in my crowning video. I crowned her alt, and because her multipliers are like 900%, it's pretty much equivalent and on par to Zhongli. Um, and it's very useful because it can heal your whole team without you swapping each one in and out. So that's why it's very useful. And it does have some swirling aspects, and it does do tick damage as well. The E is actually quite useful. People found out early on that you can hold it and also suck in like some weaker enemies that are able to be pulled, and you can like launch them into the air and drop them down. Some people were very talented and they can slam them into the floor and pull them back up. And then that's also damage. So that's kind of cool. I won't be demonstrating that here because I'm fighting a boss, which I can't lift up with this, unfortunately. And then normal attack is just normal attack, but I do level it up because I do use her for that purpose. And then lastly, what are these? So this is just when her normal attack has a 50% chance to regenerate HP, which is very nice. It's for her and her party members. It's a nice little added healing bonus. She definitely will regenerate more energy as well, so she's a very good battery character in that sense. And then this one is just for cooking, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's just get into it. Now, she can easily kill this really fast on her own, but I'm going to just use her more kind of support-ish, but we'll see. Because I don't use her just to go kill bosses on her own, right? I use her for like, well, she has pretty good damage, but I use her, and also her charge attack can lift enemies up, and you can like, hit them that way too. But yeah, I do use her for like these things, like I do for gaining energy, etc. But yeah, like this is what I do with her. I just hack and slash with her in the abyss, as you guys have seen. I don't have her E up unfortunately, so I'm trying to get that up. Let me see if I can proc it by getting some battery for her. So she can pull back some energy herself that way too, which is nice. She's trying to get her some energy quickly. Okay, and then this, that will heal everybody, and then like it does do some light swirl as you can see, but like it's not as swirly as like I said, Venti, Sucrose or Kazuha. But yeah, like this will be like, because the thing is that she's one of the earlier characters obviously that was designed for the game, so she won't have like something cool like Ayaka, which I just did a review for, where she can just deploy her ult and then it would just do its thing, right? You know, but still she's very strong. I would just say she can still get the job done. So I highly would recommend, if you guys got this character, to like really build her out, because she is actually very useful in a lot of ways. That's why I call her the balanced workaholic. She basically can do everything. She's like a Jane of all trades, or a Jean of all trades, or a Jack of all trades, right? But anyway, I'll keep this video short, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave me comments and questions. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.